We couldn't be more excited than we are right now. The amount of activity that's going on in the company and just the amount of opportunity that we have to educate people on what we have our hands on. In the 13 and a half years that we've been in the company, we haven't seen it like this. So I'm just super excited to have this brief bit of time with each and every one of you. If you're a prospect on the call, welcome. We hope that you'll get some answers to what you're looking for here tonight, whether it's as a consumer of the products or a voice of the products. And I am absolutely blessed to be on here with a couple amazing doctors that I'll introduce here in a second. For my wife and I, this started back in 2011 when we were asked by a friend of ours that was a dietitian at the Heart Hospital here in Sioux Falls to come to a meeting that a cardiologist was doing. We had never done anything in the realm of network marketing, hadn't been to a meeting before, so we really didn't know what it was all about. And I will say I was the guy at the back of the room with my arms folded, kind of skeptical, but I always say I was open-mindedly skeptical. And I just had some questions about what LifeVantage was. I come from the security and financial world. After I got my MBA, I went to Wells Fargo, worked securities there. And then we moved to South Dakota in 2006, and I moved over to Citigroup, where I managed the cash movement of around $4 billion to $40 billion around the world on a daily basis. And so for me, when I started to hear about this opportunities in these products, it truly sounded too good to be true. But I can tell you, after being in here for over a decade, if anything, what I heard at that very first meeting wasn't even the tip of the iceberg. Like, there was so much more, and so much has happened since. So we're super excited again for you guys to have an opportunity to see what LifeVantage is, what we're up to, the community of people, but also the products and the compensation plan that we have as well too. Those are major components of what we have our hands on. And I want to start off by introducing Dr. Melody Rodarte. She's a doctor of osteopathic medicine, board certified internist, and she's been with LifeVantage since 2014. And my first question for you, Dr. Melody, is what was it back in 2014 about LifeVantage that made you want to partner with the company and be a voice for the products?
Hi, Shawn. This is so exciting. Thanks. I'm excited to be a part of the panel tonight. So just thank you. But, in 2014, it was a total blessing. One, I was looking at the product and very thankful that someone wanted me to look at this product, but they had no clue that, I was interested in other forms of income too. When I finished residency in 2005, I stayed on for a chief year, and I thought I'd want to do academics. And I thought to myself, nope, this is not for me. I really love to be in the office more. I don't want to, be in charge and be a part of a bigger hospital group. And so I joined a smaller group in 2006. And my very first day, I was so excited to be a doctor, to be on my own. And I walk in and he says, so what do you bring to the table that's going to bring cash in? Because as an internist, you're not going to make any money. You have to figure out other things that'll bring a cash flow into the office. I do, partial sigma, he does like flexo, it's like a colonoscopy, a mini colonoscopy and stress test. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm not doing those. And so I started thinking about other things that I can do to bring to the practice for cash flow. And that was a bummer at first, but I'm so thankful that that's what was told to me, because then I thought to myself, I have to have other forms of income. And so LifeVantage has been that. I can go into detail, but it has been a blessing, not only for me personally and my family, but also just having another, we got to dig another well before we've needed it.
I love that. I love that. We've also got Dr. Nancy Bryan on here. She is a doctor of pharmacy, nutritional formulator. She's been with LifeVantage also since 2014. So Dr. Nancy, same question. What back in 2014 made you want to partner with the company and be a voice of the product?
Up front for me, I really had some huge health challenges. And yes, I had been in pharmacy and in formulating and in the world of medications, but I also had already delved into all kinds of nutrients and nutritionals. But I was very sick. And I think this is important for a lot of people to know. A surfer is who actually brought this to my attention. You don't have to be a doctor. You don't have to be a pharmacist. You don't have to be a medical person. Just share, right? And thankfully he did. And what he did first was show me a study. And I was blown away that we actually had that LifeVantage, this product had an actual study on it as a product. And so that really captured my interest. From there, I started taking the product, and it really truly was such an impact on what happened to me that then I really felt like I had a moral obligation, and I wanted to be able to share this with as many people as possible. And from there, the rest is history. It's been just great. I just so enjoy being part of this.
Yeah, I totally agree. When we first heard about Protandim Nrf2, the studies behind it, when you're talking about, Harvard, Texas Tech, the American Heart Association, we were blown away by that. And it made us be humble really quick that we were questioning institutions like that. And the more people that we started to share the story with, the more people that wanted to see what the products could do for them. Dr. Melody, can you explain to us, because LifeVantage is a little bit different than most companies in the space when we consider ourselves the activation company. Can you tell us what activation means in light of we're not supplementing the body in something that it's deficient in, we're activating the body? What does that really mean?
Yeah, so we have these great processes in our cells that we can activate our own production of antioxidants. That's the neatest part. So many people know about supplementation. I take a vitamin C, and what it does, it's supposed to neutralize a free radical, but what if you could produce your own antioxidants? And that's where this really caught my eye is, both of you had mentioned about the studies, and that's what caught my eye. I'm like, usually, people come to me and they're like, hey, can you check this out? And there's usually a white paper. But when I was introduced to this in 2014, there were 16 PubMed studies for me to look at, and I was just blown away. And it talked about activating the body's own process of releasing antioxidants. The first study I looked at, because I knew about glutathione and superoxide dismutase and catalase, and all of a sudden I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't know that you could activate the cell to release these antioxidants in this form with this. And that's where it was game on. Who can I share this with, and what can it do? But truly, the difference is supplementation is taking it and hoping it works. Activating is getting your cell to do what it's supposed to do naturally in its own fashion.
I love that. I love that. And, as we got more and more science, like the amount of what it's activating and the different genes that are being turned in or back into the right position continuously blows me away. And as a finance guy, I usually describe it as activation is simply getting the body back doing what it was designed to do. We have an amazing pharmacy inside of our body that just slowly stops working as well as it used to. And so this is getting it back into balance so that it can do what it was designed to do. One of the things that I love in addition to that is being a business owner, having patents on the products, right? That protection, because the science is so good and it shows in the ratio of the ingredients that it does something very specific. It allowed us to get patents on the product, so you're not going to see Wall Tandem popping up anytime soon. And, I've been entrepreneurial my whole life. And that just added something extra special that I haven't seen a lot of companies be able to do. Dr. Nancy, so back in 2005, there was an ABC primetime investigative report If you're on as a prospect and you haven't seen that, ask the person who invited you on to see that. It's amazing because most of these exposés, they're designed to make companies look bad, and ours was the exact opposite. Everything the company was claiming was proven through the science with the investigative report that happened. But can you tell us, I know in 2014, Melody alluded to the fact that there were already 16 studies out, but what's kind of happened since 2014 and since that ABC primetime investigation with studies on the products and the product lines?
Well, I think right back to your point, the fact that we had these studies on our patented products was just something that to me was just so extraordinary. You just don't see that. The other companies do something called borrowing science, if you will. They'll take a science study on a vitamin C or on an ingredient or on something else, and then equivocate it to what they have versus what we have. And what we have is continued to have studies in all different manners, everything from cellular function to understanding what is oxidative stress, what does oxidative stress mean inside of a cell, and what effects does it have on the body. And so the science that we have behind this is really true science. My background, I worked for a pharmaceutical company for a while, and that was one of the big things that we did was help doctors understand the studies. Well, what always set apart pharmaceuticals and why nutrients didn't take off so much was because it was so difficult to make them consistent. The biggest key that I think we have with what we do is in the way that we take raw ingredients and how we blend them together synergistically. We put this stuff all together. And then because of how we do it, we can make it the same over and over. That was a really big deal for us to get approval to make our claim on 40% in 30 days in reducing oxidative stress. Because when the FDA came and took a look, we were able to show that the consistency with our product, we could take those 5 different ingredients from 5 different places around the world and make them so consistent that over and over again, we got the same thing. That's what so many of our studies are there to show. And that was probably the biggest thing, as Melody and I had talked of earlier, that had such a significant impact, because there's all kinds of things out there making claims, but there's nobody that can show studies in PubMed.gov on our kind of science. And I love that.
Yeah, we've talked about that quite a bit where, other companies, they might borrow science from somebody else, or their science is just pinpointing to 1 or 2 of the ingredients.
Mm-hmm.
We're doing the science on the actual branded product. And I love the fact that you have been a formulator of products and you know what it takes to get these and to make sure that that quality control, and like you said, the consistency is there, so you know what you're taking and the benefits you're going to get are true. So I love that aspect, and being able to partner with medical professionals like this is a huge help to me, because like I said, my background is finance, and nowhere in the realm of what your guys' expertise is. Dr. Melody, we'll go back to you here. Why does every mammal need Protandim NRF2, our flagship product?
Every mammal is aging. I mean, the root cause of aging is oxidative stress. And what we've been able to show over and over again is that we reduce oxidative stress. So if you're like me, you want to stay young as long as possible. And so why not take a pill that is shown, to be 5 natural ingredients to reduce oxidative stress, which is the leading cause of aging. So it's kind of like, in my opinion, I like to say it's a no-brainer. I don't need to make it any more difficult than that. If you want to slow down the aging process, you take this.
I love that. Oxidative stress is bad. Reducing oxidative stress is good. So you guys are all NRF2 certified now. I would have to say, like, knowing you guys for years and years and years, the distributor field, would you not agree, is aging backwards? Like you show up at a convention and it's like Benjamin Buttons. All of a sudden, people, get into their 40s, they look better than their 30s, and 50s better than their 40s. It's truly amazing to see that these have visible effects on the body. Dr. Nancy, 2 years ago, last month, a huge new product came into the marketplace, activated liquid collagen. Now, that was already something that was in the marketplace, but LifeVantage, when we bring something to the table, we're going to have a unique way and an activation story associated with us. What is so special about the activated liquid collagen?
Well, first and foremost, I almost hate that we have to call it collagen because that infers we're like anything else that's out there when we're not. I get so excited when I talk about it because for the first time, we have a product that not only replenishes with 10 forms of collagen, but we also, as you said, we activate the body to make it, which is incredible abilities. And that really is important when you take a look at what goes on in our bodies. We think of collagen, of course, as hair and nails and our surface things that we see. But here's what's so incredible. When you're able to activate collagen on the inside, we're talking about connective tissues. We're talking about structure. We're talking about lots of things. To be able to get the collagen in there is incredibly difficult. And that's why it's so awesome to activate your own body to do what it's doing. And then, to me, this is the real key. We maintain the ability to keep it by slowing down a little bit the genes responsible for breaking it down. Our bodies are a yin and a yang, all about building and taking apart, building and taking apart. But the balance of that, as we get older, the taking apart starts getting way ahead. So what I really love is the fact that, I call it ARM because I love our muscles that we got from the collagen too. And that's the activation portion, replenishing and maintaining it, which is key.
I love that. I love that. And we're going to jump back here to a screen share because I want to show you guys some before and afters. And I would like the doctors to kind of say, here's why this is happening here. So we're going to start, unfortunately, with my picture. I was part of the trial process for 2 years. You guys have given me a hard time about this, but the reality is I didn't understand how important collagen is inside of the body. I thought it was a vanity product. And when I was involved with the trials, I took the pictures every 7 days. First week, there wasn't much change. Second week for me, there wasn't. Third week, there wasn't. But around day 25, I was blown away on what I was seeing. And we actually had an esthetician ask me if I had gotten fillers on my face lines. So why would that happen in such a short period of time?
So what we're doing, what Dr. Nancy alluded to, is we're activating collagen. And if those of you who are science nerds, go look at our study. It's just amazing because we're reducing that breakdown process and we're helping the building process. So I like to kind of use this analogy. Instead of making, like toothpicks to hold your skin up, you're doing 4x4s. And so it's lifting it up even better. And so collagen is so important for the cell structure. And so you're able to see just your forehead lines, so those are called marionettes when you were talking about around your nose and the lower jowls. It's just amazing that you can start seeing just that glow through these pictures, and you're very good at taking them and so that we can compare them nicely. But we're activating, we're replenishing, and we're maintaining. And that's why you're getting to see results faster than being on just, a powder or a different liquid where all it's doing is collagen. You're hoping that your body can take it up and use it correctly.
I love it. I love it. So let's get my face off of there. Let's move over to the next one. Somebody will recognize their legs here. Dr. Nancy, tell us what is happening, because I think, again, like, this might be not an expectation of what normally people will think of as a benefit that could happen from taking a collagen product.
Yes, I just absolutely love that I got to post these pictures. Like Shawn, I was also privy to taking the products early, and we were told to take lots of pictures of everything. Well, needless to say, I was not honestly expecting to see these kinds of results. And in my case, with my legs, it happened in 3 weeks, which
Wow.
is insane. So one of the things when you ask, well, how is this possible? Structurally, what happens, I like to think of collagen also thinking of a pillow, and think of, as time goes on, how the pillow starts getting a little wrinkled because the filling inside is kind of getting flattened out and squished. And what I like to think of collagen also is, along with the structural parts, which are really important, it's also the filler, and it fills the cells back up again. And so that's why you see such a huge reduction in what happened with my legs, because now the not only the skin structure, but you know what? Our muscle structure, all of our structure is filling in again. And you know what? All of those things are really important. Yes, we all do care what we look like. And as you see the pictures on the left, the same thing. Look at the clarity in the eyes. We forget how much collagen is in the eyes, and it plumped out the eyeball again. That as we get older, one of the first things that happens is we have our vision fail and start to diminish. That's because of collagen starting to diminish, and you're getting a shrinkage. So for me, I just love the fact that, again, that replenishment was awesome, but activating it and slowing down the loss of it was such a huge impact. For me in particular, I saw a huge advantage, and that we've heard over and over from so many people having similar results.
I love that. And one of the cool things for me is Protandim NRF2 on itself is an amazing product. Everybody should be taking it, integrated into your health strategy. That's a no-brainer. Collagen is amazing as well too, or activated liquid collagen for what it does. But those two together, and the science that shows the synergistic effect of those two just making the results that much better, is to me why we're seeing such dramatic results. And some of these people, they've been on other collagen products for years and years prior, and they're getting results like this because it is different, it is unique, it is doing something very specific inside the body. So Dr. Melody, I know that one of your specialties is obesity, and stuff that comes along with that at times can be stretch marks. What do you see going on in these pictures?
Well, the nice thing is you're seeing what we were just talking about in the previous pictures too, is just the ability for not only the skin cells is that visible on the outside. Think about what's going on the inside. Every single cell needs collagen. It's how we form the structure of the cell and how it plumps up. And so, muscle needs it, our heart needs it, our gut lining has it. So when someone's losing weight, or when, you've been pregnant and that stretching happens, some of us are more prone to scarring. And that is fibroblasts that aren't functioning in the right way, or they don't have the nutrition that's needed. And so with our NRF2 and collagen put together, you're seeing that synergy in all of those cells. And so you're going to be able to see results that you may not see using just a collagen product or just NRF2 by itself. It's the synergy of the two of them put together that's just amazing.
I love that. I love that. Look better, feel better, right? And then one last one, Dr. Nancy. Again, your guys' specialty as medical professionals carries a lot more weight than mine. What do you see going on here with Michelle?
Well, and so often the things that we forget about, Melody can concur with this. When we were first told about the study of the NRF2 and the collagen together, let me tell you why we lost it so much. There's these things called fibroblasts in our body, and they control the body's response to all kinds of inflammation and issues. And what you're seeing in these pictures is a perfect example of that. You see that the elasticity and some of the skin's ability to go back to its original form again. when you have the fibroblasts back in proper balance. That's what we saw that just blew our mind, because I'll tell you what, if you're seeing on the outside these kinds of things where the skin texture, the elasticity, the moisture content, the skin being able to show its moisture content again, all of these things go back to the fact that you've got a proper balance inside the cell, which is what we're talking about with every one of our products. We're talking about the activation and restoring the active, proper balance to all the cells. And as a result of it, you're not only going to look good like these pictures, but you're going to feel it too. And that's the part that I think everybody gets so excited about, is when you see that going on.
Totally. I love that. And, again, activation is very, very different than supplementation. And we've got a bunch of different pillar groups. Those aren't the only two products or product lines that we have. Really quick, Dr. Melody, can you touch on our skincare line that's activated with NRF2 technology inside of it?
Yeah, so I love that we have a clean skincare line. So many skincare lines have ingredients that you don't want to put on your skin. It's our largest organ of our body, and so when you use like the app, Think Dirty app, or some of the others that are out there, I love that you can scan our skincare line and they are like a 0, 1, or 2. And I mean, that means clean. If it's 10 and you're at Bath and Body Works or somewhere else, you wanted like, don't even put it on your skin, don't even wash your hand with it, all of that kind of stuff. So I love that you can scan those skincare products and they're going to be listed there. And so what's great is we have a skincare line for absolutely every skin type, because what we're doing is activating. They have the same ingredients that are in Protandim and NRF2 are in the skincare line plus. So we've chosen other ingredients that are acting as activators, telling those skin cells, hey, we know that you know how to do this. Let's encourage you to function in a healthy manner. Let's return you to a healthy state. And that's the neat part about it. And it's so easy. Some of these skincare lines are 8, 9, 10 steps. And most men, they're not going to do that for sure. Women, we might, especially as we get into our 40s and 50s and afterwards. But to have a base of 4 products that does so much, and the price point, and it smells good, it's easy to talk about.
I love that. I challenge everybody on here, if you haven't ever done it before, download the Think Dirty app and then scan what you're putting onto your body and see if it's toxic to you or not. If those scores aren't, 0, 1, or 2, I would rethink what you're putting on the outside of your body, because it is being absorbed through the skin into your body. So thank you for that. Nancy, Dr. Nancy, one of my favorite products, and I've got it right here, is Axio. Tell us really quickly why you love Axio Brain Food.
Oh, I can't tell you enough. Well, first and foremost, it's nerve 2 activation that's capable of getting to our brain. And that is so essential. And really, truly, remember, I told you when I started seeing some things happen for me early on to come into this company, it was also the Axio, because I was seeing things in children that were having lots of struggles that I just didn't think were possible. And so, you know what, for me, I love Axio because it's going to give us that mental clarity. And I think my son stated it best. He always had trouble focusing in school and getting through things. And when I made him, I kind of tricked him. I said, will you take these 5 flavors and tell me which one you like the best? Because I thought if I told him what I thought it might do, he'd never take it. The next day he called me and he goes, what is this that you're giving me? And I'm like, why? And he said, it quiets the monkeys. I'm like, what does that mean? He goes, I can actually get something done now. And I can tell you it's had a tremendous impact on him over the last few years and what he's been able to accomplish that he couldn't get done before. And so I know we never can say we treat, mitigate, prevent, or cure anything, but you know what? I'll take mental clarity and sharpness and focus any day of the week. And it tastes good.
Oh, absolutely. I definitely have my favorite flavors, and I do not go a day without taking it. And most of the days it's multiple, whether it's the caffeinated or the decaf, because I truly do feel a difference. Our kids felt a difference. I will always be a huge fan of Axio. So one last question for each of you, as we wrap up the product side, and then I'll get into the business side. Tell me, Melody, tell me what you're excited for that's on the horizon with LifeVantage.
You know, I'll be honest, I didn't see myself doing this long term. I just love the product. I wanted to carry it in my practice. I wanted to share, but it has become a mission. Dr. Nancy and I have been on the scientific advisory board, and I love when I tell people I don't get paid to do it. It takes time out of my day, but it's because there's something here that is like nothing else anywhere else. And the family that I have made with my colleagues, and it's just incredible. And so the mindset of always activating, that's what LifeVantage is about. What can we do better? As Dr. Nancy had alluded, like when they were saying we want to do a collagen, I rolled my eyes. I'm like, how is this going to be different than anything else on the market? I want to be different. And we did it. I say we, I didn't formulate it. We have a collagen that's an activator. And so the neat part is that is what is at the forefront. Come October, and this is near and dear to my heart, is helping people activate a healthy weight. I have gotten so upset with the weight and how people are losing it these days and not doing things correctly and not knowing what to do when they have lost weight. I'm just excited to have an option to share with people that is different than what had actually, there's nothing else like it. So that's the neat part, is if we can go ahead and help people take another control of their health in a different manner. That is so exciting for this year.
I love it. I love it. Thank you so much for your time, your expertise. You are a blessing to the company, the Scientific Advisory Board. We appreciate you so much. Dr. Nancy, same question. What are you just excited about that's on the horizon, the future of LifeVantage?
Oh my gosh, we have been, and this is the hardest part about being on the Science Advisory Board. We have to keep secrets, right? This has been one that's been incredibly difficult to keep because of my background. I've always been very involved in helping people with their overall health. And there's so many parts of what create the problems with our health. And to be able to have something that now we're going to be able to help eliminate things like terrible diet yo-yoing, things like terrible fads, things like crazy weight loss trends, because we're going to have something that's going to be in the weight management space, and I have to be careful of the words I'm using here, but the weight management space it comes back to what we've been talking about, core activating and enhancing processes in our body that are going to do things like, and I love these words, not mine, but our science board's words we can use, quiets the food noise. Wow. Okay. And balancing hunger hormones. This is about things that are making you hungry all the time that are out of our control. And to be able to have the ability to activate proper pathways again to get that back under control is probably one of the most exciting and probably going to be one of the biggest impacts our company could ever have on people's overall health.
Yeah, I think it's going to be an absolute game changer in the marketplace. And, business wise, that's what I look for, is disruptions. How can you put something that's unique into the environment that consumers want and they're driven to buy? And so I just see We've got a little bit of time before that release, but I know that you guys are super excited. The scientific advisory board, every single one of you, when we talk to you, the smiles get pretty big, and you're anticipating some huge things. So thank you as well, Dr. Nancy Bryan. We appreciate your expertise, your knowledge, your passion for what we have. And I want to take a few minutes to talk about the business, you guys, because again, 13 and a half years ago, I had no idea about any of this. I didn't know the first thing about nutraceuticals. I didn't know the first thing about network marketing. But what I knew in business was if there was a process and a proven step system to take, I could generate the same results that somebody else has already proven to work. And so when we came in the first couple months, we really weren't treating this like a business. We're taking the products because of how important they were to an overall health strategy. And when we started sharing what we were doing, just because we were passionate about it, our joke, my wife and I, was that if we were professional network marketers, we'd get a $20 commission check and celebrate with a bottle of wine and a red box movie. Well, the checks were a little bit bigger because the more people that we shared it with, the more people that wanted to see what it would do inside their body, the more people that got it inside their body, the more anecdotal evidence we got back that it was doing what it said it was going to do. And being a consumable product, we had reorders month after month after month. And I was in a position where I wanted an escape strategy from the corporate environment. The higher I climbed up that corporate ladder, the more time they expected me to be away from my family. The last 3 years, I managed the defaulted student loan portfolio at its highest. I think it was around $1 billion. But anytime anything went to court, I was considered custodian of record. And that meant I had to show up to trial or to the court and be an advocate for the company. I love the fact that I can say after 3 years, there wasn't one time I showed up in court that we ever lost. But the reality was I was gone too much. I had 2 little kids that I wasn't watching grow up. I was living out of hotel rooms and airports, and I wasn't the husband I should have been. I wasn't the dad I should have been. And I got to the point where I was so stressed on the weekends about how big the fire was going to be on Monday that I wasn't even enjoying my weekends because I had to think of what it was going to be and how long would it take me to deal with it. And so we were looking for an option. We didn't know that this was a possible option. If you would have told me back then that for $1,000 I could have my hands on a multi-million-dollar business, I wouldn't have believed you. Again, I was used to trading billions of dollars around the world every given day and seeing very large scale businesses operate. But the fact of the matter was, when we plugged into the systems here and we followed the mentorship that was available, we quickly accelerated into making this as my escape vehicle. The keys to freedom is what I would like to say. And I refer to my life as of January 2012, when I left the corporate world, as a free range human, because that was the only way I could describe what I truly felt. That I wasn't mandated to be in Philadelphia on Tuesday because there was a court case, or live out of a hotel room in Manhattan for the first 6 months of my daughter's life because we were learning processes from bankers in New York so that they could get fired and I could bring the jobs back to South Dakota. I wanted something different, and this was a tool that allowed me to, with hard work, you guys, energy and effort, but it allowed me to escape that in 9 months and start doing this as our full-time job, me and my wife together, since January of 2012. And one thing that I look for in the marketplace, you guys, is always trends. What's happening and how can I get knowledge before the average person knows about it? When I was a trader and investment manager, one of the things that we looked for was, if news has already hit the average person, it's too late. Markets have acted and things have changed. You have to find out about things before the average person knows about it. And what I know about LifeVantage is there isn't a marketplace I've set foot of in the entire globe that the average person, you could walk out on the street and they would understand what you just heard from Dr. Nancy and Dr. Melody. And I think if we fast forward 5 years from now, it's not a question of if people are upregulating, downregulating genes, it's how are you doing it? And we have a huge head start on anybody that comes into the marketplace. And I'll contend all day long, you guys, that we're moving towards a more proactive health strategy as a society, as opposed to reactive, something happens, then I go to a doctor and I take something to fix it. We want to be proactive, right? And at the same same time, I think we're going away from prescriptions when we are able to and looking for natural ingredients that can achieve similar results. And so I see those two things colliding in the marketplace, and that's what we stand for. The other thing that I've seen drastically change over the last decade is consumer buying patterns, right? And the biggest disruptor of that is Amazon. And getting direct to consumer products has never happened as fast as it's happened now. And it's going to continue to accelerate. We came out of a period of time with COVID and lockdowns where more and more people were seeing that they could get stuff sent directly to themselves without having to go into a brick and mortar store. And when I describe network marketing to people, I really look at Amazon as an example of a business model that's very similar, right? They have a bunch of distribution centers that take product and ship it directly to the consumer and not putting it on the shelves of a brick and mortar store. And that's exactly what we do, but our niche is nutraceuticals and activation products that are going to change somebody's health, make them better versions of themselves. So those are different things in the marketplace that I love where we're at. Again, we're ahead of the curve because nobody knows about what we're doing for the most part. We're still ahead of the curve on people upregulating and downregulating genes. There's not another nutraceutical or pharmaceutical company that has their hands on things like Protandim NRF2. And what's coming in October? I see you take everything we have today, use it as a 60-day runway to build your business as big as possible, because the more momentum you have generated now heading into that time frame, the more advantageous it will be for you and your business when that hits the market. So those are things that I look for. And I tell people this all the time. Network marketing, when it's done right with the right people and the right products, is the most extraordinary ways that I have ever done business. And I will always be an advocate for the profession and an advocate for LifeVantage for sure. When we start talking about different compensation plans and how you get paid, I will put our compensation plan against anybody else's all day long, because I think we've identified some serious things that have been missing in other compensation plans that allow people to build the way that they want to. I love Steve Fife, our CEO, says all the time, we are the and company. If somebody wants to come in as a consultant and just be customer acquisition, we have the ability through our compensation plan for you to get upwards 30 to 40% on those sales and the recurring sales that happen. Again, it's a consumable product. And when people have great benefits on consumable products, they continue to take them month after month after month. Michelle and I really have people from 13 years ago that we still get paid on today because it is that consumable product that they have great benefits on. Then there's going to be areas of like our unilevel, the level bonus, where you get paid 9 levels deep. We've also got a leadership match that I love because it can pay up to 20% match on different leaders inside of your organization. But one that I really love and has created a very special culture within LifeVantage and not a siloed effect of different organizations and different businesses is the global revenue sharing leadership pool that we have. When you reach the rank of executive consultant 1, you start participating in all the work that's ever been done with LifeVantage in every country that we're open in. And I love that ability. And if you treat your business like you're going to eventually get to that pool sharing part, it doesn't matter whose business you're in or when you started, you'll get paid basically on all the work that's ever been done. Really quick, I want to show you the income disclosure statement and just point out a couple things on here that were important to me, because again, I didn't come in with a lot of expertise in this profession. But one of the things that I wanted to know was, could you make income by sharing and being a voice of the products? And if you look on here, this is our income disclosure statement. On the right-hand side of the screen, it shows the different ranks and the average monthly commissions at those paid ranks. And if you look at that Pro 2 or what's now known as Senior Consultant 1, the average rep there is making $247. You guys, that pays for their product usage, or maybe that's a little bit extra towards groceries. We're in a time right now that people are having to pull back on certain things. So showing them a roadmap on how they can make an extra $250 every month is super valuable to a lot of people out there. And then if you look at that next arrow, Managing Consultant 1, a little over $1,600 a month, you guys, that could be the difference between a baby boomer being able to retire and a baby boomer that has to make the decision to either live off of less money or continue to work. And there's people at all areas that could use supplemental income in addition to what they have, especially in the inflationary state that we're currently in. And then this is what I didn't understand about the industry, what I didn't know about the profession, that there was full-time income available. Again, it takes work and energy and effort to get there, but when you follow the systems and processes, you definitely can. And so when I look at Managing Consultant 3, that to me, the average American can start to replace what they're currently getting paid. And maybe they're looking for a different way to live their remaining working years. And then it just goes up over there. And I want to point out again, because I've studied a lot of compensation plans, a lot of income disclosure statements, and sometimes they'll show you the average annual commissions at ranks. This is not annual commissions. This is what at each one of those ranks, the average monthly commissions is. And I'll say this, I know a lot of different people have invited to this call. And if you are a prospect on here, to me, I think it's an absolute no-brainer. You're going to integrate these products into your health strategy. And I just ask you that you get back with the person that invited you onto this call and let them know how you want to consume the products. Is it going to be just as a customer? We love the fact that we have so many customers in this company. Or are you going to be one of those few that sees the business vision like we see it, that you're wanting something different, something new, something extra? You want to be part of a special movement. If that's you and you want to be a voice of these products, here's how I would get started with that, you guys. Let me share my screen again real quick. And I want to show you two different packs that I would personally recommend if you're looking to get in. The first one on the left is absolutely where I would jump in if I had to re-sign today. It's the business pack. It's just under $1,000. You're going to get a 36% savings on everything that's in there. And it's going to give you a sample of each one of the product categories that we have. And to me, if I'm going to put my name behind something and I can afford that $1,000, I'm getting this because I want to be a voice of the products and know what they are, feel them, see them, taste them, take them, and have that ability to give my personal experience and share that with other people. There's also the Healthy Glow and Activated Skincare Pack that's $350. That's another popular product as well too. It's not going to come with all of the different lines that we carry, but it is going to come with NRF2. It's going to come with collagen and the skincare system. Again, there's more options available. Get back with the person that introduced this to you, and they can definitely get you more information. But I don't think that I've seen a better time in 13 and a half years to join the company. And again, I would use the next 60 days as a runway for what is going to happen. You're going to see some things explode. And it's a question of, do you want to be involved, and how big of a piece of that pie do you want? So what I would suggest right now and tonight you do is ask yourself the question, what if? What if the information you heard today from Dr. Nancy and Dr. Melody was true? How could that impact and change your life and the lives of people that you love? And then I'd also ask yourself a serious question at this age in your life. When you look in the mirror, is it giving you what you wanted? Because I know back in my mid-30s, I was searching for something different, but I didn't have answers as to what it was. And thank goodness that we were open-minded enough to see how this would fit in with our life, because it changed everything. Again, get back with the person that introduced you to. I'm going to share with you, though, one special thing that if you enroll as a consultant in the United States in July, that can be maybe that extra dangling carrot to help you make a decision. There's a July join promotion for the United States where if you enroll as a consultant and set up a subscription for product next month, you're going to receive an additional bonus that's equal to 75% of what you make on the normal commission structure. So if you made $1,000 on the normal commissions, LifeVantage is going to top it off with another $750, you guys. And this is only good for enrolling in the month of July. In August, they're going to continue that. When your subscription runs, whatever you earn through the normal commissions in August, they're going to top it off with another 50%. So if you made $2,000, they're going to add on an additional $1,000. And then September, as long as your subscription runs again, you're going to earn an additional 25% in total commissions that you earned in September. So this is a quick way for somebody that wants to come in, share the products, plug into the team, the systems, and build their business and get off to a fast start, where you can earn some serious extra additional money on top of the normal commissions that we earn. And then we're going to continually do things like this. The other night we had our corporate staff on with our board of director, Aaron Brockovich, right? The Aaron Brockovich. And we're going to do more meetings like this where people can see the company, know what we're for, and make a little bit more noise in the marketplace about what we're up to. And the next meeting that's going to be a format kind of like this will be on July 31st, 6 p.m. Mountain. It's going to be the same webinar ID that you used to get on here. So look forward to seeing you guys around, changing people's lives, making them better versions of themselves. Appreciate you all. Thanks again to Dr. Melody and Dr. Nancy for educating us on these products and why they're important for your health strategy. Take care. Have an amazing, amazing evening.